A very good morning, it's Fabio and welcome back to another daily market update. We're going to dive into your favorite major dollar pairs, see the potential trade opportunities, and of course discuss some fundamentals as well. Now, EURUSD has continuously pushed up in towards the highs on both Thursday and Friday. This here is the daily chart, and if we just quickly look at the weekly, we can very clearly see that last week we saw another massive bullish weekly candle closure, and that we're back inside of that green zone, as I highlighted already for quite some time. Remember, we were trading from this green zone over here in towards this green zone over here. Now, EURUSD, when is it going to pull back, guys? That is obviously the massive question that everybody has. Well, I am expecting somewhat of a pullback soon. As we can see, we've now grabbed the range high, let's call it that way, and I'll now be looking for potential retracement back down into where? In towards weekly demand, which lies in these 2 wicks over here. Now, previously we had this sub for the buy here as your demand, but as you can see, you tapped into that with this wick here. Now, these 2 wicks are your area of demand. I'll be looking for a retracement before another upside continuation overall. Now, the market is always primed to pull back after seeing 2 things, right? So we have number 1 and we have number 2. And number 1 is going to be what? That's going to be your change of character. And number 2 is going to be your area of supply and demand, or of liquidity. So when it comes to supply and demand and liquidity, what do we look for? We look, for example, for a swing high like we have over here. So this swing high, this could cause a reversal in towards the downside. However, I'm not just randomly going to start selling, am I? So what am I going to do? I'm going to go down a time frame to the daily. And I'm going to identify, or even on the 4 hour, okay, what can we look for in order to understand that the market is ready to pull back? So here on the daily time frame, we can see that the daily fractal structure is bullish from this low in towards this high. So we're still extremely bullish. And if we were to look for shorts, we would need to break this low, and then only would we have potential for a short. So on the daily time frame, it's a bit hard. The overall demand is inside of this sub for the buy here. So I am looking again for a potential pullback. But again, on the daily time frame, there's nothing really that we can trade. Now, looking here on the 4 hour, however, this is a little bit more interesting. Why? Because the 4 hour fractal low is the low of this bullish candle over here. If that low were to go, then we could see some further downside. However, as long as this 4 hour low holds, we are still looking for longs only. As we can see, the market retraced in towards discounted levels here on the 4 hour fractal structure. On the daily, it is fractal bullish and swing bullish. On the 4 hour, it is fractal bullish and swing bullish. So it doesn't make sense to be looking for any shorts at this point in time, right? Because everything is still bullish and there's no signs of anything really that could provide us with a potential short. So I'm only going to be looking for a short position once this 4 hour fractal low goes. Until then, I'm only interested still in further upside. So I'll be looking at this on the 1 hour time frame, for example, as well. What we can see here on the 1 hour, I'm just going to clean up the chart again, is that this 1 hour demand zone, this 1 hour sub for the buy, that is in control. Okay, so what's important to understand is that the 1 hour fractal has shifted here again as well. What you kind of have is like this mini downtrend, and then we had this uptrend again in towards the highs, and this becomes a little bit more clear on the 15-minute, where we see this internal trend down, and then we see an internal trend up again. So push up, pull down, push up, pull down, push up, pull down, and maybe now we're just going to see another push in towards the highs. Now the dollar is still pretty bearish. I'm going to show the dollar chart in a second, but as we can see from this chart for now, everything is bullish on your USD. This is now your 1 hour fractal low. This is now the 1 hour fractal high. As long as this 1 hour fractal low holds, it should make sense to push up higher. If that breaks, then just wait on your USD, because then we're probably going to form some form of, let's say consolidation here on this chart. Obviously, it's Monday. The markets are kind of waiting for the next big news to come out surrounding what Trump is going to say. And I'm going to show you guys that on the dollar chart, because the dollar has been selling off. And remember, I've been mentioning the 100 level for weeks, if not months, guys. Here on the dollar index, we've finally hit that liquidity low of 99.578. The exact same play as in Trump's previous presidency has now played out once again, where we have a phase of accumulation, then we have the manipulation with the fake out, and then we have distribution in towards the downside. And now the same has happened here. Phase of accumulation before Trump's presidency, we have the manipulation, and then again we have the distribution in towards the downside. So overall, the dollar is now at a key level. And what is this key level? It's a liquidity low. So this liquidity low over here could cause a reversal on the dollar index. Keep that in mind. However, for now, the bearish momentum is still very, very sustained. You can kind of see we grabbed the liquidity low and then straight away, boom, see somewhat of a bullish reversal. These are buyers getting towards the market. So I'll be looking for some more downside at least to take out this low before any potential pullback plays. And then we're going to have to see how we react to this low. Like if we see kind of like straight away a sweep and then, for example, 4-hour change of character and we form a demand zone, then you could look for longs. But otherwise, if we just see it kick down with momentum, just let it run because it is still extremely, extremely bearish, right? There's nothing bullish about the dollar at the moment. Capital outflows are still going on. When it comes to the dollar, people are still selling dollars and moving their money into, for example, euros. Now, it does seem like there is a little bit more certainty within the world surrounding the tariffs. Trump does seem to have a little bit more of a plan, but what he's also doing is that he's pulling back on a lot of tariffs. So, for example, tariffs on semiconductors, which are used to create AI chips. Also, tariffs on, for example, electronics. Just for your knowledge, a lot of the electronics that are required for example, iPhones, Trump has exempted those from tariffs. That's why we, for example, have seen Apple stocks push in towards the upside as well. But yeah, looking at the dollar is still extremely bearish, and I'm only interested, to be honest, in shorts until we see something, let's say, of a significant shift happen there on the 4-hour time frame. But yeah, looking here at the weekly as well, there's no real clear areas of demand here, and kind of like the ultimate target could even be like 89, which is still very, very far away. But as long as the dollar looks like this, I'm only interested in sells, to be very honest, and also surrounding the uncertainty of the dollar, I'll just be keeping an eye now on this area of supply. For now, if we were tracing towards there, I think this will be a nice selling opportunity once again. So that's a dollar index. Going into AUDUSD, we can see that AU itself is bullish. This is kind of like what I talked about last week, where we have a fake area of supply. So what is a fake area of supply? Now, this here is a buy before sell, and everybody would see this as kind of like a break of market structure, right? So the break of market structure happens from this buy before the strong sell down. However, this for me is a fake area of supply. Why is that? Well, very simple, because there's no liquidity in the overall move down. In this push down, you can see it's kind of like just one straight impulse, and what you have with these moves is they often kind of like get broken. So I'm looking for more upside on AU. We also have kind of like these 3 descending highs here where liquidity lies above. Now, obviously, I was looking for longs back in the days, like literally 2, 3, 4 weeks ago, before the tariff news kind of like escalated. I was looking for longs over here. Now you can see everybody getting stopped out. Every swing trader got stopped out, and even for intraday traders, this is pretty hard or tough market conditions. But yeah, now we can see the reversal. So I'm now just going to be looking for that further upside from AU. AU is still at a very, very beautiful level as well on the higher time frame. I don't really see it going any lower. Also here on the monthly time frame, for me, this is like such a key level on AUDUSD. So I'm only interested in, myself buying this. I see AUD, NZD, and CAD potentially gain some strength in the near future. Now that there is a lot more clarity surrounding these tariffs, the risk on bias could start playing a bigger role within the markets, meaning that Australian dollar, New Zealand dollar, and the Canadian dollar could gain more strength. Overall, I understand it's a little bit hard to trade this, but look for the overall order flow on, for example, the 1 hour or on the 15-minute. For now, the market is just kind of like chopping up higher. It's hard to get into a market like this, in my opinion. What I'll be looking for is maybe somewhat of a liquidation, where we take out some lows and then see like a V-shaped reversal again to get into a new buy. For me, it's not interesting to buy here. Why? Because again, the entire move happened. Here we had a nice demand zone that I mentioned last week, Thursday, that you could have got into. Here again, the order flow. Here again, order flow. Here again, the order flow. Like, the order flow is extremely bullish, but at some point in time, there is going to be kind of like a fake break and a sweep of liquidity. So let's just wait for that to happen before getting involved, in my opinion. But longs are still kind of like on my list. And for me, I'm just going to be looking to take out those 3 highs. Going into GBPUSD, we can see that GU is very similar. It's also most likely going to push up higher again. I also mentioned this last week. Yes, you have supply here, but personally, I was not very interested in shorts. And I'm still just looking, very simply said, for more and more upside, and called the upside since the lows over here. So for myself, just continue looking for those longs on GBPUSD. I can overcomplicate it for you guys. But obviously, if you look at this 1 hour chart, the thing is with this is that it's already made its massive move, right? You can just see it. It's just pushing, and there's not like really any clear supply or demand dynamics. Here, obviously, you had a nice demand zone where you could have gotten into, but now just wait for the market to get into this demand zone again, like this sell for the buy, and then just look for like a lower time frame setup again to get into more longs. So that's what I would do personally with GBPUSD. Going into NZDUSD, NZDUSD is the exact same as AU, but even more bullish. We can see that the task that I was looking for it to fulfill back in the days over here, because I had my stop loss on one of my setups underneath this low, just got stopped out. Like it swiped every single swing trader pretty much, and then boom, just reverses in towards the high. So sad story for myself, but overall, looking for a higher correction here on NZDUSD. It is looking bullish, and again, it is also here on the weekly time frame and on the monthly time frame at a key level of support. So looking for further upside as well here on NZDUSD, further in towards the highs, and I'll be looking for more and more longs. Obviously, again, the 1 hour time frame is a very difficult chart in the sense that this is not kind of like a market that I like to trade in. Keep an eye on the order flow, because the order flow is extremely bullish. Here we have demand in control. Here we have demand in control. And you can, again, just see every single time, like the demand chain overall gets respected, and you just do not want to be selling this, in my opinion. So keep an eye on more and more longs. Overall, the market is bullish on NZDUSD, and also here on the daily time frame, it's now broken the daily high over here. So overall, I'm just going to be looking for more and more upside, and I think in the very near future, we're going to start taking out all of these descending highs over here. So looking for more upside on NZDUSD as well. And then obviously we have dollar yen. Dollar yen has been pushing in towards the lows. Again, why? Because the dollar is weak and the Japanese yen as a safe haven is strong. Overall for dollar yen, still only interested in shorts. It is bearish, but I don't really see any setups on this for now. If you are interested in trading this, then just keep an eye on more and more shorts. And then last of all, we have gold. Of course, gold itself is still very, very bullish. There's no real shorts on this at all. I would just be looking for more longs as soon as we retrace in towards this daily order flow, which is this overall daily sell before the buy. Just wait for the market to get back in towards that zone, and then you just wait for a new market structure and your bullish order flow to be created, and then we just get in on the bullish order flow like that, as simple as that. So gold is requires your patience. So that's it for today, guys. Thanks so much for tuning in. Wish you all a fantastic trading day. Any questions, just let me know inside Discord, and I'll be there to help. That's also where I'm going to share more of the fundamental updates, but a lot of reading to do, and I'll see you there.